Okay, so the first page is just remind us, so you did these on Monday, didn't we? We should know these already anyway. Base times height, base times height, base times height halved, base times height halved, base times height halved, and so on for them. Our trapeziums, so add your parallels, half it times by your height. Add your parallels, half it times by your height. Be careful on the last one, just because it's the wordings don't match up as well. Our parallels are actually these ones, and our height is this bit connecting those parallels. If you turn your head sideways, you can see that that's the height connecting the base parallel to the top parallel. Okay, so here what we've got is we've got another trapezium which follows the same rules, and then we've got 3 parallelograms. Okay, remember parallelograms are just base times your perpendicular height. Okay, so the 2 dimensions that form a right angle with each other. So you've got 1, 2, and then a decimal one here. Try to do that without a calculator, see how you do. And then we've got 15, 16, we've got 2 kites. Okay, now there's a bunch of different ways you can do kites. For these ones here, the most simple way to look at it is that a kite represents half, oops, not very good, sorry, of this rectangle. Okay, because this is a triangle. This triangle is half of this bit of the rectangle. Hang on, let me put my pen, my laser on. Sorry, because this triangle is half of this top bit of the rectangle, and this triangle is half of the bottom bit of the rectangle. So the kite as a whole is half of this whole rectangle. So to work out the area of a kite, you need to do your base, so your widthways along here, so your 11, times by a 40, and then you just need to half it because the kite takes up half of that space. On 16, it would be the same thing, but you need to be careful because as you can see here, the units are different. This one's 12 centimetres, and this one here is 270 millimetres. So to work this out, you need to first put them into the same format. So you either need to write this one as millimetres, or you need to write this one as centimetres. It doesn't matter which, they just have to be the same unit. And then you can do the method I just said, where you imagine that the kite is half of this rectangle. Okay, so then your answer will either be millimetres squared if you converted this one to millimetres, or it would be centimetres squared if you converted this one to centimetres. Okay, so for a final challenge, there's some compound areas. So you need to work out the area of each different shape and then add them together. So here you've got a semicircle, and it's got a radius. Well, this length along here is 4, so the radius must be half of that, so the radius must be 2. So you're going to do pi r squared and half it to get the area of this bit. And then this bit here is a parallelogram. You don't need the slant for a parallelogram, you just need the base and the perpendicular height. So it's going to be that one times that one. That area plus that area will be your total for the compound shape. For this orange one, we've got a rectangle and 3/4 of a circle. So the rectangle is straightforward, that's going to be 2 by 4. And then for the 3/4 of a circle, half of this distance across here is, that whole distance is 4, so half of it must be 2, so the radius is 2. So you need to do pi times the radius squared, and then find 3/4 of that area. Okay, and then you're going to add that onto the rectangle area. Same again for this one down here, the green one at the bottom. You need to work out the area of this square, which is a 1 by 1 square, and then this is 3/4 of a circle which has a radius of 1. So work out the area of that circle to divide by 4 times by 3. Here you've got a semicircle, the whole distance across, so the diameter is 4, so the radius must be 2, okay? So pi times the radius squared, half it to get your semicircle, and then add it onto the area of this triangle here. Same again here, you've got a semicircle, the whole distance is 5, so the radius must be 2.5. And you want half of that area, add it onto the area of this triangle. And then the red one, you've got a really long rectangle. The rectangle is 10 by 1, and then you've got 2 semicircles. They've told us the diameter of the semicircle, and presumably this one is the same because they've not told us it. So the 2 semicircles together will make one whole circle. So really all you need to do is work out the area of what this whole circle would be. You've got half of it there and half of it there. They've told us this bit here, so that must be the diameter, so you need the radius.